All right, hi y'all. I wanted to do a non-synchronous presentation of something that you'll find useful for Lab 3. So if you look at, let's forget how to get to this thing. So let's go Preferences. So I'm gonna show you my Lab 3 notebook. So one of the things that's kind of unique about this class is that I'm actually doing labs with you. So as you all struggle with labs in the background, I'm struggling with a lab. So this is my Lab 3 prompt. It follows the naming conventions of this class where I do Engineering 11. I'm calling myself 00 right now. I have Lab 3. This is problem 3 of Lab 3. So this documentation took me about 30 minutes to write so far. So I named the file Engineering 11. One-liner about what the script file is, just like we talked about. And then I always like, in most of my code and most of the stuff that I do, I like to give students, or forget students, users, more information, but that's not in the actual script. So in this case, I'm giving the reader information on where they can access this information, and then a bunch of stuff about background material. I haven't finished this yet. It's still a work in progress, but you can see that here I name the output, here I name another output. So at some point I'll talk about how to get this. I have some authorship information. Last revision was actually this morning. So what is this? 2/10/2020, like 6:30 a.m. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do version information, but then here's some code for you, just like we talked about. This code is a little bit more advanced than we need to go today. And then it's kind of fun. There's a bunch of stuff that I did with my code. So I control the figure color, control the figure name, I control the menu bar, whether or not I want one, control the units, the axis. You can refer back to this. I don't mind that you steal code. The point of this is to learn how to use this stuff. So one of the things that really bothered me was if I don't specify to MATLAB what it is that I want my axis to do, it will fill in. So like automatically, if you look at this code that I just ran, MATLAB does this really silly thing where it inputs for the tick marks the numerical value of the tick marks, and that kind of bothers me. So one of the things that I realized while I was working on this was I would like to control the tick marks. This is a little bit more advanced than where you are sitting in front of me right now. But some of the really cool things about pendulum motion are that the periods of the sinusoids very much depend on something that we call frequency or period length. So I actually wanted to label the frequencies based on period. So I tell, right here, I'm telling MATLAB, please interpret all of my strings using a LaTeX editor, so I can write LaTeX code within MATLAB tick marks. And then this thing lets me label the tick marks using these strings. Well, in my case, there are 21 periods in this data. So, lo and behold, sugar. It's getting mad at me, I think, because I changed my code a little bit. So what did I do here? Oh, let's go ahead and just let's comment that one, and let's rerun this damn thing. Yeah, so that whole line of code there basically allows me to label these with figures. So as I get this thing in a running order, I'll post it online so that you have access to this, and also be much more specific. But I just want to show you some of the really cool things that are available. So in this case, I'm like position title. I'm labeling the title of this graph. So like this string right here shows up in the title of my figure. So if I wanted to like change this thing, if I wanted to say like, thou shall not pass. There it is. The point of this, though, is I've made a claim that if you want to learn how to code, you got to learn how to teach yourself. And one of the mistakes that I made last quarter is I didn't force my students to do that while they were in my class. So this quarter, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'll teach you what you might call principles behind some of the most important concepts in numerical analysis that you will use. For syntax, I expect you to learn how to teach yourself. It's an important skill to have. In this case, I'm going to give you some hints because I don't want you to be alone without help. This is the actual code that I am writing to solve the Lab 3 problems. I'm sharing it with you for free because I realize that a great way to learn is to watch other people. There it is. I'll see you again in the next video. Enjoy.